Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Taco versus RVNT matchup. It just happened a couple days ago on SMDM with Pierre's farm as the middle point. At any point in time, if you have any questions for the match, just feel free to drop a comment below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Let's go ahead and dive in. Now, Pierre's farm historically, going back centuries, was favored to be captured by the allies off the opening, but recently I have seen the Axis cap it a few more times than I would expect. Teams are adapting their truck routes, avoiding these common sniping lanes here north of SMDM, and they're trying new things out in order to get to the hard cap and be able to offset that initial allied advantage, because the allies are going to have a little bit easier time with truck routes and just overall setting up for Pierre's farm. Let's go ahead and see how this opening goes. Okay, Pierre's farm is the middle point, everybody. So we got to see if Taco takes the famous truck route. Snipes coming in over there. Famous truck route is right here on the road. Now, what we just saw to the right was a snipe come in from RVNT's side. It looked like it was way too early. Somebody, unfortunately, on RVNT's side did not plan that out correctly. And now Taco knows that they're going to be doing the snipes. Snipe down the main road. Taco launching some rockets. Oh, way too early, buddies. Mamma mia, those snipes were way too early. We'll try to monitor the RVNT trucks. So this is the part of the match where I'm trying to look to see overall if anybody's losing any opening trucks or not. This is the difficult part of the streamer because you want to capture the cool clips down below in case any trucks get sniped, but you also want to know from the other side's perspective if they end up losing anything, because that obviously will tell the tale about what's going to happen during the opening. Don't see anything happening. Trucks over here. They're going to go down the main road. And you notice Taco, the truck took the route over here to the right, going and up into the north, avoiding the main road here in SMDM because it's very snipeable from the allies' perspective. If you are playing SMDM as Axis, most of the time, 99% of the time, you want to avoid this road. The teams will snipe you, especially if you're playing Pierre's farm. Nobody hits. No one hits. Taco's trucks take the right route and they're going up here, which is much less likely to be sniped, unless of course the enemy team has rockets planned. But here we go. We got the bodies up here to the north and we have more bodies coming down here, and Taco will be able to make it pretty much all to the hard cap. The snipes, the rocket snipes went out for Taco as well. TIAC, 504. One truck over to the right, maybe, Wheatfields. So I think they lost some bodies over here, but usually pizza slice off the opening, you don't see too many bodies. Berg's down to our bottom left is right here, and he'll be heading up with the OP. So as a squad lead, we'll be able to get the OP down and get 5 more bodies in there. Yep, one truck on the right side. Okay, and the allies, as tradition, they stack the hard cap. They got 2 SLs, Randy Bobandy, Mags over here to get some back OPs. Then we have Libby pushing into the hard cap for the more aggressive OP. At least that's what I'm assuming from this little angle here. Okay, now the big thing for the allies is to make sure you have AT in your squads. And what does Taco have, or what does RVNT have here? They have 2 AT players, Dextro and Bloor, with most likely the Grand loadout, and they can respond to any Luxes or Pumas that try to crash on a round. Very key note for you new teams out there to prioritize having AT rockets in those initial squads, because the meta is to run recons, light tanks around, and try to burn OPs off the opening. I myself have been burned plenty of times by such things. I don't think anything major happened. I think those snipes on SMDM were way too early. Let me just put the camera here for... Okay, so now that Taco is... So since they're forced not to take the main road, they're going to be a little bit delayed in coming up to the point. The truck route's a little bit more tricky. They could get stuck on something, whatever. They're just going to be delayed a few seconds. And now RVNT is going to have a opening advantage here on Pierre's farm. Now, we're not going to cover the entire match step by step. We're going to skip around a little bit because obviously we'll be here for a long time. I'm trying to keep this video as brief as I can to the point. The opening, though, is always very interesting to study to help out other teams, especially when it comes to SMDM Pierre's farm. If we take a look at the opening positions, Pierre's farm pretty much ticking over towards RVNT. I think it's about to be capped here in a few seconds. Pierre's farm, or A network, is a lot. Allies have a pretty good OP. They're staggered OPs, as you can see. They're not all clumped up right here. Over to the right, we got a couple by Pizza Slice. This is key. You don't want to overcommit to Pizza Slice because it's a funnel area. Now, I have seen some opening strategies where the Axis will overload Pizza Slice and run a Luke's up there just to burn OPs, and the infantry will shift around, build a quick AT gun, and splash to the back of Pierre's farm. That's always it's always possible. But in this case, as tradition, I mean, the Axis are going to overload because before we saw the position, the trucks have to go over here to the right. Looks like maybe one truck got stuck, actually. So we have the little slight overload to the right, but these raspberries will begin shifting over towards the middle after they secure this area over time. A network, though, is the key point for Pierre's farm. Usually this area down to the south or to the north of the point is controlled by artillery and a couple good fraggers, tanks splashing HE, all that kind of good stuff. The wild card is a network where the allies can push down, wrap around, get control of Warner Bros in this area, and then they can get some crossfire to the back of the Axis lines. And same thing goes from the Axis perspective. If they could get control of a network, then they could push north, wrap around, get some really good crossfire to the back of Pierre's farm, push up here, wipe out these launch garrisons, harass the tanks from the rears, and then it's lights out for the allies. The opening cap is secured. All right, post-cap situation. All garrisons set up for Taco. Line looks really secure. And then we have the Allies line looks also very good. We have garrisons in good positions. Commanders hitting up another garrison in the middle. Tank looks good. Front line looks solid. Nothing crazy. Fourth point is Hamlet offset and Rue de la Guerre up here to the fifth. With offset points, you're going to see the teams struggle a little bit more because it's offset and they have to stretch their defense. But in this case, Taco seems like they're going to be okay, at least right now. Once again, we're going to skip around throughout the match. Not going to watch every second. If you feel free to, link is in the end screen if you want to watch every second of the match. Below, this is what I mean by Pizza Slice. We have Revenant that got control over here down to the bottom, but at a certain point, you're going to be stopped in more of like a funnel type situation. You're not going to be able to gain too much ground because the enemy is going to want to stop you before you're able to wrap around. Okay, moving on to the 1 hour, 17-minute mark. Line looks pretty good for Revenant, still pretty stable. A network pretty much split, although Taco starting to wrap around to the west. We see Revenant does not have good control over here, and this is going to allow Taco to leak bodies into the backline. This is the kind of danger when it comes to leaving these spaces without anyone over here, is that the enemy Taco, they could leak tanks over here on the far left, which would totally go unnoticed. So mediums, Luxes, Tigers, whatever, they can go over here on the far border, come around, and who knows what they could end up doing, waiting for a heavy coming out of the middle. They could go over here to the back of Pierre's farm. Lots of different things. Okay, at the 1 hour, 14-minute mark, we see the map still pretty much stable. Taco beginning to wrap around over here to the left a little bit more, but so far still pretty stable. What are Revenant's options? Well, they got to see how the front line is still shaking out. I mean, each side is feeling out each other's weak points and seeing if there's a chance for maybe a breakthrough. And when it comes to an airhead play, what are the airhead options? Well, Taco could send something up here to the back line, but good teams like Revenant are going to be able to find it. I mean, they have a pretty good garrison and outpost network. They should be able to respond to anything right away. Revenant does have an interesting airhead play, though. They could drop something to the very bottom of C8, talking very far left corner, to maximize the chance that it succeeds. You don't want to drop it anywhere near Hamlet. 99% sure Taco will pick up on it. They got somebody staying in the hard cap to monitor that area. Your best chance for Revenant is most likely something either in C8, or you could play something down here to the very bottom right of H8, in kind of like the little fine corners of SMDM, where you could find maybe a little pocket to do something with. Now, moving on to the 1 hour, 12-minute mark, a network is being fought over. Taco's gained a little bit of ground, but nothing too crazy. Not too long after this, there's some serious cap weight begins by Taco. Now, at the 1 hour, 12-minute mark, or 1 hour, 11-minute mark, we see the raspberries push up into Pierre's farm, and I was focused on this Puma that was doing this these shenanigans over here by A network. Cap progress begins to come in. Okay, 1 hour, 10:50 mark, we see that Pierre's farm is under threat. Taco has wiped out the Strongpoint garrison. There's no garrison over here to the east. Down to the south near Pizza Slice, not too sure if there's one before, but Taco's has reallocated some raspberries over here to the front line, plus they got a tank in support, and they've made a little bit of breakthrough. I mean, that's the thing about Pierre's farm, is that you can keep a few defenders on there because the majority of them are going to be dying to artillery, so teams don't want to allocate too much there. You want to protect your flanks, spread out. Here, Taco was able to get a few raspberries inside, able to go into some gunfights, and now they're getting some serious cap weight. Oh my gosh, during that whole time, Taco's been getting cap on Pierre's farm. Okay, we take a look at the situation. We have some blueberries out here, raspberries pushing forward. TJ is on the glider wing, providing some good crossfire, very valuable glider wing MG position. And there are not many bodies. Remember, the garrison was taken out. What? How? Pure sector? Now we have pretty much pure sector cap weight on Pierre's farm, with Revenant not having many garrison options. I mean, they're going to have to bring some bodies from the west and the east over here to get to the hard cap to offset this. Garrison's eliminated around the hard cap. Reinforce was dropped, but Revenant has lost the garrison and the OPs. I wonder if Nagan... Keep in mind, though, this is pretty much pure sector. There's just Nagan here in the hard cap. Revenant has lost the garrison and the OPs. I wonder if Nagan was able to just bust up here and wreak havoc like this. Burn everything. What? Oh my gosh. Craziness. Revenant on the verge of losing Pierre's farm by almost pure sector pressure. Oh my god. Oh. A little bit of counter cap weight. Kimbo slice, math. Greyhound comes into the hard cap to save the day. Okay, so what do we have there? Well, the Greyhound had very good situational awareness, ran over, got themselves in the hard cap. Then we have more bodies coming into sector a little bit, some collapsing into strong points. So a mayday call went out on Revenant's chat, I presume, to get some more bodies here very quickly due to that situation. But it's crazy because sector pressure can get you off guard sometimes, man. It really can. We saw it in the WTH ESPT game from seasonal last year when it came to WTH almost capping SME Church just by having sector pressure. Nobody was in the hard cap. ESPT didn't have anybody in the hard cap. Next thing you know, WTH was, these are two of the top two PC teams, by the way. WTH was 90% there. Then ESPT was like, oh, we got buddies back in time, able to save it. Clear precision strike called up there to the northeast. Oh, wow. If you are playing Axis on SMDM, Pierre's farm, allied tanks will be up here. I can guarantee you they will be up there. Always try to have your precision strike ready to go for this. I've ever seen a pure sector cap up Pierre's farm before. Don't have the greatest of luck. No, it's right on the meat. Okay, nails the precision strike. Ready. Okay, Revenant survives the first cap attempt by Taco. And now what happens post-cap? Well, they lost map control. They had to move bodies away from different areas, push them into the hard cap. They got the garrison there. They had to pull. And now map control's shifting in favor of Taco a little bit more. They've gained a little bit on the front line, as we could see here. Before they were pushed down to the bottom. Now they're up pretty much level with Revenant. And then A network still pretty much flat, but we see this very good outside control by Taco. Almost loses Pierre farm. They get a garrison over there in the hard cap. But what this is going to be, if you're on the allies in this situation, one of the things, a almost cap could be very scary, but one of the things to keep in mind is to always try and think outside of the current active fighting. What am I trying to say here? Think outside of the current active area. What I mean by that is spawn up here in top HQ with an SL, support, drop a supply drop, whatever, and always try to maintain some type of counter flank activity. I don't care if it's one SL, one blueberry, two blueberries, just something on the outside to help wrap around and knock out or just threaten the enemy from the rears. And this is one thing I struggle with definitely in the past, but one thing that all teams can learn from is that no matter how bleak the situation looks, how much you're pushed in, always try to at least pull one body, one SL, either the commander or an SL, to come back here on the flank and establish something to counter flank their attack. Because if you never counter flank them, they're just going to be able to keep piling on the pressure. Dalton is them losing a decent amount of map control because of the panic to get more bodies into the circle to solidify everything. And as you can see here, Taco has been able to push up pretty decently. Mag's getting some good angles. Okay, at the 1 hour, 7 minute mark, we have Taco building up their armor up in the front line. Their armor's playing in safe positions, got some coverage. They know where the allies' armor, they took out the first heavy with the Stuka. They communicated that back and they were able to now push up because they know that the first allied heavy's already been taken out. Always try and maximize your armor. Always, I mean, the Taco is fully loaded out, man. They got 3 active tanks on the front line, then they have 1 tank over here to the back line. Tiger down here for Taco. Then we have a B4 over to the right. 1 hour, 5 minute mark. Taco gearing up for their second cap attempt here. We have the Tiger that pushed up, got cover behind the ruined building, got infantry in support. Infantry has made their way over here to the hard cap. Blueberries holding the hedgerows. We'll take a look at the map position. Taco has pulled some bodies from the outside of the map. As you see here, we don't see this area as much. Started to move some more bodies to really thrust this push home. Commander's over here to the back. Hamlet just has one person, Mike Squad. I don't remember who Mike Squad was, but shout out to Mike Squad for sticking back there. That's what you want. Somebody to stay in the strong point, monitor the chevrons, make sure the enemy doesn't have any shenanigans going on. But this is a very key lesson for teams out there to know that when it's time to attack, bring bodies from outside, way outside, and shove them into the attack. Don't let 5-6 people hang out by dugout when you're trying to capture Pierre's farm at a critical moment. No, communicate that out to say, hey, everybody get on the attack. Come up with a code word, banana for shizzle. If somebody says, as soon as somebody says banana for shizzle, everybody knows to go on the attack or get into sector for the attack. So close to really jamming it straight up. Second 76 for it's placed a little bit. Okay, Taco loading up. The infantry push forward. They know the bombing run's coming in. Coordination between infantry and the commander when it comes to looking at the map and understanding where the bombing run is falling is very important. Farther to the back. Let's see if the AoE effect is going to get it. Garrison is right there in that trench. Oh, the Garrison survives in the trench. And Pierre's farm, once again, is one of those very concentrated points that it's going to be possible to jam everybody in the sector, get your OP or in the strong point, and save it because you're able to maximize cap weight in a very condensed, covered area. Airhead falling for as long as artillery isn't hitting their marks perfectly. Taco over here to the left. Taco calls an airhead play over here behind this building. Very common, very good airhead spot. They have the Panzer IV here to cover as well. Panzer IV has pushed up. Tiger still to the back left. No, they're all waiting for that second jumbo, the second jumbo 76. Now, this is where armor has sort of a imperfect situation to play around with. They want to push forward and help out the push. They want to get in the hard cap, but they also have to be thinking, where's the enemy jumbo? Is there AT around? Do they have any AT guns up? So the Tiger decides to play it safe instead of pushing into the hard cap to stay alive, splash HE, and maybe intercept any enemy tanks that try to come up to the hard cap to help save it. It's gotten a little bit closer now. They're kicking in fourth gear down to the south. Taco able to gain ground because, why? Well, Revenant is forced to pull bodies back in order to save mid. That's a sacrifice you got to make. The artillery, the crossfire, the tanks, everything is able to neutralize most of the impact that the hard cap has right now, plus some solid frags being won in the middle of the strong point by people like Randy Bobandy over here. Glop balls pushing forward. Tiger's still back here to help support. The bombing run came through, took out an airhead at an angle to the back line. Or to the back of this building. Oh man, this is teeter-tottering so much. Allies have a 76 up here to the north, so now they can help prevent any major pushes that the Tiger would make into the circle. Revenant shoves some bodies. Overall, the map situation doesn't look too bad for Revenant. They're able to maintain their flanks and prevent Taco from wrapping around and getting crossfire into the side and to the back of Pierre's farm. Taco's just has to try to push from the front. They can't really get too much action going on from left or right. They got to that Garrison spot, man. I mean, literally perfect timing. The medium pushes into the hard cap. Panzer IV still here behind the hedge. Blueberries. Ew. Taco surging forward. I mean, for any SMDM allied players out there, know that Garrison spot. It's really good. Medium pushes up into the hard cap. Armor recognizes, hey, we got to get into the circle to help solidify the defensive position. 5-meter dispersion. Keep in mind that if you got to commit bodies to the hard cap, like I've said a few times already, it means you're going to lose out on map control. However, Revenant has done a good job of keeping some OPs around to the flanks of A network so they can push back in. But now the danger begins with Taco starting to ramp up here to the north with a potential big breakthrough and being able to really slam some fire here into the rears of Pierre's farm. Head out and get some counter flank fire. Okay, 57 minutes left to go, and Taco's now capping for the third time so far this match. 75 does a good job of roaming around and trying to splash the enemy positions. Remember, if you are in the armor, use those medium tanks, either it's a Panzer IV or medium 75, to drive around and just see what enemy spawns you can get and to alleviate some pressure for the defense. Look at it, trying to get behind. So now we're starting to settle down a little bit. The cap is back to full in favor of Revenant. The line looks stable. Remember, they've lost a lot of map control because of all those callbacks. Now look at it. Taco's in fantastic position for cap continuation here in a moment, and we still have 57 minutes left to go on the clock. Gotta go to the border, buddy. Gotta go to the border. Yeah, whenever you're playing, or whenever you're trying to drive a truck across the map edge or out of bounds, always try to go, or try to get into the enemy backline. That's what I'm trying to say here. Always try to go to the very, very map edge or out of bounds if you can, just to minimize your chances, from my experience at least, of he's ticking off enemy garrisons. Oh, he's got Taco. Okay, this is the 4th cap attempt with 53 minutes left to go. Couple OPs. Yeah, as we see the progression of the Taco map control after every capture scenario. They've taken more ground, gotten closer. Now it's really starting to dial in because now they can get some flank pressure from the north to behind the Pierre's farm. Here, baby. Got Tear. We got Charlie. I'm really surprised that it's been taken out. Nobody. However, Revenant able to pull bodies back into the hard cap and force them right back on out. Taco has been able to locate it, or Tiger's still back there to support. Bombing run called into Pierre's farm. 52 minutes left. Bombing run landing right back here. Bombing run called in a little bit late, but I'm assuming it was on cooldown. Not gonna dodge or not gonna ding the allied commander for that one. No garrison here on Pierre's farm. Taco with very good control of the north. They can push tanks up here without too much fear from enemy AT, and they can get some really good crossfire to the rears. Does it look like any? Okay, could get this. No, spawn wave's already moving up towards the hard cap. Can Revenant save it for the 4th time? Tiger's moving forward. Tiger's gonna go right for the bombing run, and Taco gets the cap already. So Taco goes up 3-2 after 4 very solid attacks here on Pierre's farm with incremental gains from each one of them. Goes up 3 of Revenant. Okay, post-cap situation. What do we have going on? Well, we have some bodies over here for Revenant near a network. Taco is a very solid line up to the north. They just got to close out the north of Pierre's farm, and then they'll got to smush the pocket over there by Pizza Slice. Okay, fast forward to the 47-minute mark or so. Here we have Revenant that has cleaned out the left side pretty much. Most of the Taco spawns are gone, and now they've started to form their own little curve around AA network. And so with the goal of capturing this so they can start flanking bodies around Pierre's farm to get some pressure to the rears and not allow Taco to just commit everything here to the front line. From Taco's perspective, they started to push out from Pizza Slice north of Pierre's and over here, but they are not as map edge to edge as they were before. So this is going to present some opportunities for Revenant to get some wide spawns and to continuously leak some bodies around. And also for Revenant to slip some tanks over here on the left-hand side to get behind Taco. There are certain hills like Warner Bros. Hill that could be very advantageous for allied tanks when they slip on around. Getting some pressure over here. Okay, over here to the 37-minute mark or so. Once again, a lot of these, I'm not going to cover every minute because a lot of the stuff stays relatively the same. Now, there's some movement shifting, but for the most part, not too much. Line pretty much stable. Taco still fighting Revenant over Pizza Slice. This northern part, not much shifting. More garrisons, placement in the back line. Revenant got forced out of A network, pushed back up to the north. Taco able to regain all this ground and reestablish map edge to edge coverage. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not true coverage because Revenant could still slip something through on the edge, but this is just, this is as good as you're mostly going to get for a team that's on the attack and a 49 versus 49 trying to cover all that ground. Moving on to the 34-minute mark, we see map position still pretty much the same. Nothing too crazy going on. The OP did get wiped up in the back line. Taco with fantastic map control. Tanks building up here on the corner, looking to maybe they get ready for a push on Rue de la Guerre. Do see a little bit of breakthrough over on the front line, which the tanks could take advantage of because of the distractions. Once the infantry is able to push through in a certain area, well, that means they could most likely get rockets or something to cause distractions on enemy tanks and allowing your tanks to take advantage of that. Okay, now this is a very interesting engagement. It's a little bit of 2-on-1 action. Jumbo pulls back. The Jumbo is behind that hedge, being pinned by 2 Tigers, one by Pizza Slice, then one over here to the left side, which has hedge coverage in front of them. supply drop coming up here. Now we have this Puma coming to the back, which is going to be able to be a distraction. I say this in many of my streams, but you have to utilize these light tanks, recon tanks to be distractions and be essentially bait for enemy heavies to allow your heavies to be able to take advantage of them. Or Panzer Force, or medium. Stage Tame, Big Chicken, making a name for themselves. Stage Tame, of course, one of the highest paid tankers in Hell Let Loose in the console scene. For these plays, 76 is extremely focused on the enemy Tigers there, for good reason. And the intel didn't come back to say, hey, we got a Puma sneak into the back line and it's coming over to you. Or it could have, but they're just, it didn't get through. They're trying to focus on the Tigers or, whatever. Pippin is like Jordan, Stage Tame. Oh, wait, I said that wrong. Big Chicken is like the Pippin to Stage Tame's Jordan. That's how it works here. Okay. Puma is right here. 76 is damaged behind the hedge. The Tigers are over here into the distance. Stage Tame is a very experienced, competitive Hella Loose tanker and was able to park the Puma right there behind the hedge, and the 76 can't push him and take him out because then they're going to be exposed to the Tiger. These are all the calculations that are going on in the background of tankers. Now, Tigers have an interesting choice here. They could hold back and wait and see if the 76 makes a move, or they could try to push themselves. Tiger backs up. Other Tiger begins to push. I think we got a Jumbo over here to the left or something somewhere. Okay, here we have the Jumbo still holding. 2 Tigers now in position. Puma behind the hedge. Oh, man. 76. They're pinched. Tiger begins to push the left side. They're coming. Very good job here by the Tiger. This Tiger is providing overwatch just in case the 76 Tiger can push, watching this angle. Puma is sort of a wild card in this situation. It can kind of do whatever they want. Around. Easy takedown. But they can also snap pictures here to see what's over here. And so very good job. 76 gets knocked out. Now, you would think it's all fine and dandy. Let's see how this plays out. Nice push, buddy. Alrighty. So that's going to be crying out Locosito and Overload here. They do take a shot themselves. I think there's a 76 over there by Rudy Laguerre. It was not a 76. It was an AT gun. Tiger moves forward. Gets some coverage from the hedge. 76 tries to get a shot
here by the radar
tower. They got an AT gun up there at the radar tower. Long range rocket. Oh! Clutch long range rockets. One there from the right from G13 Wolf. Oh, long range rocket from downtown from G13 Wolf. Oh, Tiger takes another one. No, rocket to the left. Fantastic long range rockets. 18 gun shot to the front. Another 18 gun shot. Oh, another long range rocket. What a combo, buddies. All right, so RVNT push, or Taco pushes. They get the Jumbo 76, but they lose a Tiger and a Puma. Now, would you say if it was worth it? I mean, the Puma, we could write that off. It's most likely a free tank. They've done their job. The Tiger, I mean, Taco has better map control, so you could say it's worth it. Just pushes RVNT's abilities back a little bit, and assuming that with the map control comes greater resource flexibility. So in that case, Taco, yeah, I would say come out ahead of there a little bit. Now keep in mind, this other Tiger has pushed up. Tiger's backing up. Oh! Whoo, shot comes in from the left side to wipe out the other Tiger. So Taco has lost 2 Tigers and a Puma here in the past minute. 30 minutes left to go on the clock. Now, you talk about a good morale boost for a team as far as saying, hey, we just took out 2 Tigers. And now RVNT knows confidently that there are no Tigers in the vicinity of Pierre's farm. Keep that in mind. With the 10-minute cooldown, ever since that update came in, teams know that, hey, if I take out 2 heavies, right now there is literally 0% chance that the enemy could have any heavies in the vicinity of the next point for the next couple minutes. The response from Taco is very quick. Obviously, they're going to spawn in the heavy, the Puma. They're going to bring up more tanks to the front line, but this gives RVNT a little bit of chance to use their armor. Now, the communication needs to be out to the tankers, be like, hey, let's move up. Let's take this ground. Let's help the infantry splash HE. We don't need to load up AP for a little while. We can use as much HE as we possibly can. Also, it could be a little bit of a chance for a Jumbo 75. Okay, shifting or moving over forward a few minutes, we see that RVNT has slipped forward a supply truck over here to the left side. The line is pretty much stable from east to west. Nothing crazy going on. RVNT has started to gain a little bit of ground here. Remember, there was that punch through a little bit earlier, but now the tanks are being able to shift up and help support. Taco bringing up more armor by SMDM. Line. He's going to give it another shot. Now we take a look at Taco's Achilles trying to... Okay, so we move forward to the 23-minute mark, so 23 minutes left to go. We see the line still stabilized, RVNT gaining a little bit of ground. When it comes to Jeeps, as I mentioned earlier during the stream, RVNT does have a chance to speed a Jeep around since trucks really haven't worked out for them. They can get a squad lead in a Jeep, and you can zip out of bounds and try to make your way around it, because what you want to do is try to get a deep red zone garrison up. That's just want one deep red zone, so you can continuously leak SLs, maybe behind a map edge hedge, just to leak SLs around and just set something up to the south of A network or something. That's the only thing here out of RVNT that I would like to see a little bit differently, was just a constant way to get SLs over here into the backline to help alleviate some of the push up to the north. And so Taco wouldn't be able to commit everything up here to the front line. But like I said, everything looks stable. Taco bringing up more armor reinforcements after losing the 2 Tigers and the Puma earlier, and they're starting to solidify around Pierce Farm. Bombing run called in. We have a airhead and a bombing run combo here. This is my only really critique of the Allied commander, where a little bit deep here on the front line. I get what kind of going for to cover the airhead spot, but the infantry coverage isn't great. There's a lot of unknowns about this area. Just in my opinion, I would have saved the airhead for a little bit later. And the bombing run is going through a lot of open. I mean, it's going to the side of the hedge a little bit, but still a lot of open ground that right here. So maybe in hindsight, with hindsight being 2020, and just to be able to save that bombing run airhead combo here. Bombing run airhead combo right up on the front line. Bombing run going left up Pierce Farm to garrison. So it'll alleviate a little bit of pressure up on the front line. But I'd much rather have seen it go east to west along the hedgerow versus north to south, where much less likely, because the infantry wouldn't be stacking in a north to south situation with in this sort of map layout. Looking to help just break open it a little bit. Manpower 380 fuel. Okay, so the airhead will be taken out here on the front. Bombing run on its way. As you can see here from the terrain, it's really deep back there. Pretty deep. I mean, you could have taken the guess that the garrison was placed up there behind the ruined building, baby. Airhead taken care of. $19 minutes left to go. Taco rushing a Panzer IV up here to the front line to try to break some of the defense up. Panzer IV cruising through. James. For SMDM Pierce Farm, they've gained a little bit of ground, which is really good because now they can protect the front door push on Pierce Farm a little bit better. Sometimes you see teams try to push south straight into the hard cap, and they don't have control of any of this, which allows the enemy team to just get a whole bunch of crossfire and totally shut down the push. Now, RVNT kind of still needs a push down to Pizza Slice, or else the Pizza Slice raspberries will be able to just slaughter anything over here. So there's still a few objectives here to take for the Allies in order for them to have a good chance at a better push. From an Allies perspective, your goal right now is solidify this flank as best you can, push down to Pizza Slice too, and then you're going to most likely shove 2 jumbos right over here into the hard cap, or have 1 jumbo push forward and then have 1 jumbo provide overwatch somewhere up here to the northeast to help watch out for enemy tanks to the south of Pierce Farm. Either 1 jumbo commits and then plus a medium over here into the hard cap. We see we have 2 other tanks up here to the north. So RVNT doing a really good job of utilizing as much armor as possible for their big push. Got to be careful with that, George. Then you'll throw an airhead over here into the middle of Pierce Farm with the tanks in coverage. Squad could have a lethal here to the back. Now, the key thing for George Squad in this situation is that George Squad, what should George Squad do? Not just go bulldoze themselves straight to Ruta de Guerre. No, they'll get slaughtered. You want to take that OP and try to move south and counterflank the enemy's front line. That way you can break up these OP spawn points like this raspberry here is doing, and just slow down the Allied attack on Pierce Farm. 13 minutes left to go. Jumbo 76 in the classic position. We have Jed-Miel, Nash, and Shrimpton over here in this jumbo, and they're providing some overwatch over here into the hard cap. We have the other jumbo to the right side, and they're in good position. They're not off by dugout, hanging out, looking for a spot. No, they're over here ready to go with 13 minutes left, just in case the time comes for the push. I often, or not often, but sometimes see tankers on a team out in the middle of freaking nowhere, man, not in position for the big attack. They're not aware of how much time is left and how much time it takes to travel to an enemy point in order to have an impact. Please try to stay around the active area if you're in armor to thrust it on home should the chance present itself. Oh, man, he's going, Easy Squad sneaks around to the backline yet again and pings this garrison over here to the right. Pretty sure Easy Squad recognized that or heard it as he was walking up and said, you know what? There's zero chance for me to stay back there and dismantle that garrison. That's not a good move. I pinged it. There's nothing I could do about it. I got to keep moving forward. So Easy Squad heads up to the north, gets down the outpost south of Pizza Slice really quickly.
God,
Two flood bodies into the OP.
I picked the freaking garrison.
The woes of backline players, man. Bomber run coming. So these are big gunfights over here for Easy Squad.
Yeah,
Easy
along with
Squad
the airhead
wins
taco thrown at
their fights to the top. Red wins that gunfight. Very big gunfight to win. You talk about, I don't really highlight solo fights that often, but sometimes they could be huge. Red wins the gunfight against Siors over there to the back, and now that's going to allow Red to put up the outpost south of Pizza Slice, flood that so they could push north and attack
Tyroo de la Gale. Oh, Red. I just want to give him a hug.
Hound Dog 7 maybe getting a little bit too jiggy with it. Maybe a little bit too confident. Drops that bombing run over Rue de la Guerre. Now keep in mind, as soon as you drop that bomber, man, it's a 10-minute cooldown.
Yeah, Taco's going to be sneaking up here down south of Pizza Slice. Maybe he can place his OP there. Spawn wave comes down to the bottom garrison. OP goes up.
OP goes up from Red Squad. Once again, Red knew that, hey, if I went for that garrison, I'm probably going to get wiped. I got to try to get my outpost up as quick as I can. Wins the frag over here on the border. Barely enough time to get the outpost up. Raspberries coming in from multiple directions. Taco responding. And very, very good time here.
Up. They're going to want to fill that real quickly.
This is the key thing for teams out there. When you have an OP in this position and the squad lead yells, hey, I need bodies. Every squad lead needs to say, go to easy, flood easy, go, go, go. Let's get 5 people in that squad. That's a big time position change OP in order to have an impact for these final moments of the game. Taco's forced to bring a few bodies back to respond to this, and we don't know, we can't calculate the trickle effect of that or the domino effect, but it could be there. Revenant begins to bring bodies in more so they can shove a big push down the middle. Keep in mind, Taco's gaining this map control now. Taco's loading up here to the north, being able to wrap around and get some crossfire, but Revenant's still pushing to the south, going for hard cap. This is a big change. Remember, because before you're kind of playing for map control to prevent those flanks, but now this is very interesting call. Revenant said, you know what, let's go for it. Let's overload these OPs on the front line and just try to push towards Pierre's farm. We'll deal with the backline pressure as it comes up. We shift forward a few seconds. Revenant has begun to essentially slam Taco right in the face and push down to the south while giving up by leaving a skeleton crew over here in the backline to deal with the flank pressure. Very interesting strategy. Ooh. Pizza Slice pressure comes on in easy. Remember, this OP over here is big because now they're pushing up to the north and threatening Taco's OPs from the backline.
Ooh, no, you've got a little bit of a split front here. I just realized Taco getting a nice little wave on the left. Red over there to shut him.
Now 10.5 minutes left. One jumbo pushes forward. The other jumbo providing overwatch.
Down, but
infantry has made their way up to the hard cap to get some OPs.
Here we go. One jumbo charging the circle. Bombing run called to the Pierres. We got
jumbo pushes forward to help with the airhead call in. Libby's trying to get his outpost up. Think it's on cooldown there in the bush. And man, what a situation to be in as a squad lead, knowing that your OP's on cooldown.
Who over there to the back? Did Mahoo get a satchel on the Panzer IV, baby?
No, Mahoo got a satchel on the Tiger.
76 still pushing. 76 right there to the... Whoa! Gotta watch out for that P-47. Bomber run coming into the south.
Mahoo's right there to the back.
It's gonna get...
Bomber run comes in. Very good angle going to the back. Takes out the half track.
That half track. Airhead lands, but there's nobody to cover it. Libby's the only one here.
This is the only thing where yeah, you really can't criticize this airhead too much because the infantry was pushing forward. They just all got wiped out. Raspberries able to make their way through. The only thing you probably could have done here was shift the airhead back a little bit farther. But hey, I mean, it's kind of, you know, because the grenade tosses could come in from anywhere and take it out. So not, I don't know. You got to call the airhead in.
Bomber one falls short.
Commander faded for the Allies. Drop that right there.
Libby! No, he dies!
But Libby does get the outpost up there.
Airhead's still alive?
Oh my gosh, Airhead's still alive!
It's going to get grenaded.
Oh!
Raspberries get deleted?
Yeah.
Oh, there's the grenade. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Who goes to the back? Tank commander jumps out. Philip.
Crazy. Grenade lands. 76 is pushed up here. Remember, there's no
tank. Tiger gets wiped over there to our top left.
Going back for these armor crews. This is it. Explosion happens to the back line. That's going to be...
Obviously, you can't plan for situations like this. You can't say, okay, AT, go to the back line, sneak around, and satchel their tanks. No, you just got to get lucky with it. I mean, you're going to... Mahoo found a gap in the front line, snuck around, played it smart, and he didn't go for the P4, went for the heavy.
A Tiger that must have been satcheled over there to the rear from the Blueberry.
So now the big thing for Mahoo is to report back to the squad lead, since there's no text chat on console, to say, hey, the Tiger is down. I got it. It's dead. It's that beam can shoot on over to the 76 crews to say, hey, we don't have to worry about that heavy tank anymore. It's gone.
Satchel gets on the top.
Communication.
Tiger takes it out. Revenant pushing forward to the hard cap.
Flushing on in, Jumbo 76 in support. Puma comes to the back with stage tape.
No, it's not stage tape. It's crying out, Overlord Local.
He's still getting the rounds in the back. Jumbo's got to flip around.
Now this forces the Jumbo. They've taken some damage, but now they have to relocate from supporting the infantry to deal with this recon tank.
Jumbo flips. Jumbo's looking for the Puma. Collapse it.
They take it out, but still, like every second matters in these situations.
Puma goes mama.
Now, keep in mind, like I said before, Revenant has a very bold strategy here. They're throwing everything in the front door. Taco has all these outside outposts and spawn points active, but they're focused on the hard cap at the moment. They may be allocating bodies to the outside, but they're doing a good job of still keeping Raspberries up to the north, flanking around and trying to put pressure on these spawn points for Revenant.
Revenant shoving everything in here. Other 76 in the sector, providing overwatch to the back.
Revenant is taking a big gamble to say, let's get everything in and around the circle, hold it for a few minutes at the end to pull out the win.
8 minutes, 21 seconds left to go. The Blueberries are coming on in. Garrison established for Revenant to the east. Second 76 making a beeline for the hard cap to continue this cap weight. Raspberries.
Taco still has, I would still put the favor of Taco at this point with 8 minutes left. Now, of course, I keep these thoughts to myself on stream because I'm just trying to commentate what's going on. But I would still give Taco the advantage here because of their map control. They still have fantastic flanking opportunities.
Up to the north, trying to circle around and get pressure from the rears. Math, East Edge, Vitidian. But Revenant's all in. The armor cannot go back for this. They're going to push the hard cap and just go down with the ship and see what happens. The infantry's trying to push up on the right side. 76s in position.
Notice how Taco's still keeping bodies over here to the right and moving in on the flanks. Revenant is surging forward. They got some bodies of their own to the back as well. Tony is over here to the rears, going into the wheat field. Could get a nice stellar OP up and to flood some bodies over here to the back. Jumbo's pushing forward. Remember that Tiger was taken out to the left, and then I think the P4 was as well. Not too sure.
One Tiger was taken out. We have one P4. Puma alive to the right. Next Tiger should be coming about HQ momentarily, but Taco on a full callback. More Blue Raspberries coming back towards from the east. The Garrison does get taken out.
Okay, keep in mind that here Revenant still does a good job, though, of maintaining or getting the Garrison up here to the north. So even though there's chaos all around, I know which squad lead this was, but a squad lead went back to get this Garrison up. You got to maintain those launch Garrisons in order to funnel reinforcements into the point. Pentacle comes up big, gets a satchel in the midst of all the chaos on this Jumbo 76.
76 goes
Jumbo gets wiped. Cap progress teetering a little bit.
5 minutes, 30 seconds left. Blueberry still trying to get some pressure on, but Taco has the rear penetration.
All right, we have 5.5 minutes left to go. Revenant is pretty much all in at still. All these blueberries in the circle. We got the armor here. It's like their own little island. Taco still playing for map control. We got raspberries over here on the left side. Able to get some really good crossfire into the hard cap.
Backline push. Trying to maximize the cap weight. Raspberries coming in from the back. 75, 76 inside the circle. Math to the right. Looking to get a satchel on. Math guns down one. Bags. Gets wiped.
Good job by the blueberries for looking to the backs. A lot of times I see in matches where everybody's just looking straight forward and nobody would gun down that person. That person would go up, satchel the medium, and then the tanks would be like, guys, can somebody watch our back?
But we got Tickle My Pickle with the AT loadout, rushing out with the Panzer Shrek. No, gets taken out by Dino. Dino dies.
Good job by Dino. I mean, that Panzer Shrek could have been lethal to the OPs and tanks here on point. But another key, like I mentioned earlier with the armor, Revenant does a really good job of utilizing all the tanks, the fuel possible, spawning 2 mediums, getting them here on the hard cap to maximize the cap weight and the firepower. Remember, because tanks are pretty much immune to artillery. Cadaver Mahoo still over here to the back line, getting some good just harassment fire to the rears of Taco.
Still coming in for Revenant. We got a reflank around the back from Mahoo and Cadaver.
To Tony, Revolve over there to the northeast as well.
Tony, Revolve.
Keeping the enemy off balance.
Pizza Slice control. Burns. Arcio. Arrecio. Down here to the bottom left, we got a Puma. Trying to stay alive. Stage tame. Just going to book it forward. See if we can burn any outposts. Cap Progress still coming in for Revenant. Can they come back? Kibble Slice balls. To the left.
Good long-range rockets.
To the right.
Panzer IV shifting up to try to get an angle on the mediums.
Jumbo 76 splash, and Panzer IV is going to try to make a move.
So Jumbo, medium, medium for the Allies.
Pierre, Burger Bridge, Pocky, trying to get a side shot on Rocket Ricochet. Panzer IV
Comes to the side. Don't they can take a shot. Jumbo turns. Jumbo turns. Jumbo. No, what did that?
Fantastic response time by the Jumbo driver right there. That was a rapid, while they were focusing on the infantry over here, the call went back, they reversed the tank around or twisted the tank to face that medium, or else the medium would have got a side shot in and potentially knocked it out. Potentially.
The 4 goes Baba Dewey.
Cap Progress stalls.
4 minutes left.
Taco collapsing the hard cap. No, Taco
On the full counterattack, bringing all the raspberries back here. Another spawn.
Massive spawn waves from Revenant.
Wait for Revenant. They're going to push forward into the circle.
artillery collapsing on the right side.
Taco trying to push it from across the road, but they're getting shot out in the open.
Rocket comes over to the rears, misses the Jumbo.
Jumbo 76. Revenant. Oh my gosh, Revenant caps with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to go.
So Revenant caps, but keep in mind, this is always the classic terminology in Hell Let Loose, especially in competitive matches, where you say, hey, is it a true cap or is it more of a false cap? As in, hey, we capped it, but we're probably going to lose this right away. At least, though, you still gain the map control advantages. You wipe out all the enemy spawns, forces them to reset the OPs, the garrisons, etc. In this case, though, man, Revenant holds it with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. They're all in the hard cap. The tanks are committed. They got to hold for 1 minute and 30. That's it. And this is one of those situations as a team, you got to be comfortable with saying, hey, we're going all in for the push, minimizing map control, maximize cap weight, keep your heads on a swivel, and we're going to see if we can hold this. Because sometimes that's what it comes down to. How many games in soccer or the NFL have been won on last plays of the game with Hail Mary plays or something like that?
Oh my God.
And then the rest of the time didn't even matter. Like, oh, we won. Here we go. It all came down to the last play of the game we won. Kind of like those. I mean, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Dealt with plenty of these, but those last minute field goals, whatever team we're facing gets the ball, they complete a few passes, they attempt a 40-yard field goal, they call it or they snap the ball, call a timeout, or they spike the ball and then call a timeout, and then they kick it with 1 second left and they win the game. That's how it goes sometimes.
Push. That's bananas.
Okay.
What a push.
Blueberries all pushing forward. Now, in this situation, it's chaos. Taco still has very good map control. You see all these raspberries around to the side, maintaining this very nice shape here around Pierre's farm.
I thought for sure Taco was going to be able to wrap her from the back and shoot him to high hell water. But it didn't work out. Cap progress comes back in for Taco. Oh, what's...
The blueberries got spawns, but they are very exposed, man. Bennett over here to the left, SL, Mags. If you're Revenant right now, you can try to shift some bodies over to these counter flank OPs, but they got to be Johnny on the spot. They got to be fast, man, because you got to establish some type of pressure outside of the hard cap due to the map control situation.
76 can't take it out, I think.
Now,
75,
of course,
75
everybody,
is dead.
I know, in this type of game, your comms, your nerves, your stress levels are sky high, and it's hard to think clearly. I fully understand that. I've commanded plenty of games where I look back at it and go, oh my God, I really wish I would have thought of doing this or that. I'm just providing some commentary, feedback on what I'm seeing. Please take that into account.
76 right here. Oh no, 75. Is it Satchel? Oh, 3 minutes left. Blueberry's getting gunned down.
The artillery is able to zero in on the last remaining area that Revenant controls, and they're sort of pushed out of the hard cap now. Panzer IV circles around to the side.
Panzer IV approaches from the right side. Taco looking really good for the counterattack. Sherman 75 still up.
And now Taco controls the hard cap.
I don't know if the 70 right here trying to maximize the cap weight.
Tanks are in the circle. They're doing the best they can. Keep moving, swirling the gun around, splashing HE, trying to keep the AT off them. They're trying to do it all.
I'm assuming they're Satchel. They may just dive forward. Savage red build. Range of stone.
And in these situations, the enemy tanks are usually able to take advantage of this because they know the enemy tankers are just dealing with so many different threats. So many.
Inside shot said the 75 is trying to cover the gap. Blueberries. Take a look at the map. Oh, we got hardly.
And if we take a look at the map, we obviously see that Taco has tons of pressure here all around. And it's coming down to this little island of OPs to the east. Revenant's looking from the outside in. They got one tank coming in from the north down the road, which I'm pretty sure is fourth gearing it. That's what you got to do. Just get anywhere you can near the sector, maybe in the circle. Now, Revenant does have this garrison over here to the west, which I did not notice at the time. This plays a big factor because now, even though your island on the hard cap is rapidly disappearing, you can flip bodies over here to the west because you capture Pierre's farm and it's in your blue zone. The enemy can't lock it out as easily. You can maximize that garrison, flood bodies to the east, and rewrap the axis that are pushing into Pierre's.
Any spawns.
Talk about a wild level of coordination that is needed for these situations. Faded doing a really good job of staying back in the hard cap, or at least observing to make sure that, hey, let me just keep a clear head and communicate. Don't get lost in the action, and so I can call in commander abilities and all that kind of stuff.
Panzer IV trying to get another shot on the 76.
Panzer IV wipes out the jumbo, which was huge.
So it's Bum and Dewey.
Sherman takes out the Panzer IV.
Panzer IV also wiped. Over to the back. We got another 75 clapped. We got a recon vehicle to the northeast, stage tame, and the recon in the gunner seat.
Now, I don't know what impact stage Tame had up here, but him sneaking around the recon, getting in that corner, splashing HE into the hard cap, that's big. Those are players that on your team are worth their weight in gold. They're able to keep a steady thought process and think, okay, I'm not going to rush into the hard cap with the Puma. I'll die. I'm going to take the long way around. We still got time to cap. We have map control, so there's a good chance we can get pressure on the point. I'm going to find myself a strategic position and lay some HE, AP into the back of whatever they're doing.
Precision strike call to the Pierre's farm. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. Oh my gosh. Oh, and down goes the 7.
But here we see the map control play for Taco paying big dividends now, because Revenant is forced on an island over here to the east side. They were able to keep that pressure on, knock out the tanks here on the hard cap. Now Revenant has nothing, looking from the outside on in.
25 and Taco, full counterattack. The northern wedge comes in clutch. Precision strike drops down. Nobody home. Blueberry wave comes in from the glider wing. Or from the bushes right there. Not gonna make it. Bomber run coming in. This will be the last bomber run for Taco, looking to wipe up the last remnants of Revenant. Oh my gosh, what a counterattack, but then we got a little blueberry.
Now, this is what I was talking about. RVNT had that garrison over here to the left side. Quickly said, everybody get on that and start flooding forward. I mean, Libby's here, Tony, Dino, Mags, all pushing east, man. And Taco's focused on to the north and completing that wrap. But that garrison over to the left was huge for these blueberries to come over here to the rears.
Wave down to the bottom. Ah, they're trying to come back towards the circle.
Oh my gosh! Can't they get there in time? There's too many tacos inside the hard camp. And
That was probably, I really wish there was a percentage or some type of scale for the cap and how it was going for Taco, for as far as like the player count, sector weight, cap weight. I think this was a lot closer than people think it was. If a few more of those blueberries were able to get inside the circle, man, you may have seen that pause, because this was developing into a lethal back push with OP wipes and everything. A fantastic game from both sides. RVNT with a very bold push, very bold strategy to shove everything in the circle, sacrifice map control, pretty much rely on a lot of people keeping their heads on a swivel. Now, what changes could we see made to this going forward? Well, we could see some tanks from in this case, the Allies' perspective, being placed in the rears to provide some at least coverage on the flanks to prevent those key crossfire rockets, machine guns, STGs, whatever it may be, at least for this example here in SMDM. But a very good match, very bold strategy. Love to see bold strategies. It almost worked out. It almost did. It was a really, really great game to cast. And something I don't think I've ever seen a team try before when it comes to really pushing the armor advantage, utilizing every single tank, and just punching a hole through the enemy's front line to get into the hard cap and the surrounding area. Very interesting. Okay, everybody. Well, let me know what you think in the comments about the game, and if there's any things that I missed, feel free to chime on in. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, go leave a comment down below. I'm happy to answer you. If there's certain parts I forgot to cover, let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, buddies.